I hope I only just pressed the record button for YouTube there, because otherwise that's going to be very strange, them just hearing me shooting shit with chat for a little while. Hopefully. Thank you, Hinkley, for a 29-month streak with a tier 1 sub, as I start our Eden run for this evening. No message, because you might have to do a refresh and then you can do a message. What is up with this? Ooh, Book of Belial, Eyeshadow, Pheromones, good damage. Tier rate is a little bit to be... well, it's base Isaac, I think. I always forget if base Isaac is 10 or 11. 2B62W2LT is the seed. Really, the only negative thing is that it's a burning basement. Other than that, it's an okay, pretty decent start, I would say. No one said a Civ run with the Kree. Didn't Valinar play as the Kree when we were doing those co-op games of Civ 6? I don't remember. Who did he play as? Valinar, who did you play as? Oh, Mongolia, because you like horses and taking over the world, yes. Oh, now we're a cheerful looking weirdo. Me IRL. Alright, it is potentially dangerous having $3 bill, I think. Oh, no, fruitcake is the dangerous one. $3 bill is the good one. Thank you, Gooksy, for the first bits of the evening. 50 bits per kneecap. That's a fair deal for now. That price gets higher as the week goes on. I never use Book of Belial outside of rooms where I really should. Or outside of bosses, rather, instead of rooms where I really should. Is what I meant to say. Basically the exact opposite of what I said is what I meant to say. Triple shot. I can always tell when we get triple shot or quad shot because our tier rate doubles or quadruples. Oh, it went down to normal? Nope, no. Because we got a damage up there. It's Polyphemus, is what that was. Now it's, I was going to say Night Terror. Is that even the name of an item in this? Dark Matter is what I meant. So it can become Fire Mine, so there is a little bit of potential danger there. But why on earth are you watching me play Isaac to talk about Isaac? Really, we have something else to talk about, which is the stories from last week I was holding off on talking about, plus some extra ones from my day off. Yeah, we're ready to go for the boss, so we'll do that first. I look like Trump on pills. So I just look like Trump then. Not orange enough, but other than that, you're probably pretty close. Let's just get this boss out of the way real quickly. Larry Jr. did not withstand us at all. Oh, and that's perfect for the next floor. Starting to get a little bit Doc Manhattan now. I'm going to go clear that spare room in case we get a bomb for the tinted rock I had to miss. What fudge flavour this week? Well, I guess we can talk about that briefly. It was white chocolate lemon fudge I made. Now, I know what you're thinking if you saw the picture on Twitter. You're going to say, that's not white chocolate, that's brown. I had a mishap during the cooking process and I tried to save it. So I used the same recipe, except I exchanged milk chocolate for white chocolate, thinking that white chocolate would be a much better flavour combination with lemon. And I think I am still right about that, incidentally. But when I went to check on the mixture an hour in, which is when you like pour it out, smooth it out, etc., it looked like the honey had separated from the mixture. Now when I do it with milk chocolate, sometimes some of the honey isn't mixed in and just like, you know, stir it and it's fine. It didn't stir very well, it seemed way too loose and I don't know why. It must just be something to do with the difference between white chocolate and milk chocolate. I don't understand enough about it to be specific. So what I did was I had a single bag of milk chocolate chips. I stuck them in with the flavouring when I was doing that step, and that made the mixture a little thicker, and I feel like it... They all killed themselves. It brought it all together better. Still not perfect, but better. So I don't really know what happened. It tastes really, really nice, I will say. I'm not usually one for lemon. I kind of hate lemon flavour. But for whatever reason with white chocolate, it kind of is very mellow. Which is okay by my standards. Scythes for a room, thank you. Also thank you for Little Gertie, I guess. So yeah, I was trying really hard not to do yet another variant of just milk chocolate fudge. You know, you saw what happened. I had to mix in milk chocolate in the end just to make it not super liquidy and whatever else. I feel like, alternatively, if I just like stirred a lot more, it might have come together anyway. If I try it again, that's what I'd do. I'd give myself more time stirring it and hoping, because even once I added the milk chocolate in, for some reason there were still like whole chocolate or white chocolate chips in it. And I feel like I was stirring it for quite a while. So that was my adventures in cooking so far. I also have picked up everything I need to try South Carolina chicken. I'm not going to try that tomorrow because it's got the longest cooking time. What I'm going to try tomorrow is the cheese or chicken and cheese pasta. So whether it turns out well or not, you'll see my efforts on Twitter tomorrow-ish. And then the day after that I might get the South Carolina chicken up. Because I've had some brioche buns for them. I'm getting into this experimentation, but every time I try and find something different to do with the slow cooker, I feel like Marge Simpson in that episode of The Simpsons where she gets a lucky find. It's a super expensive dress for cheap. And she makes like high society friends that just keep on changing the dress so it doesn't look like the same dress over and over. I feel like I'm there with the slow cooker now. At least in terms of fudge. Have I tried... Oh, that's very good. It's been a long time since I've seen Small Rock. Have I tried? I can't believe it's not fudge. Is it poo? Is that the joke? Yeah. So anyway, I got interrupted by talking about fudge, about the other talking points I had. From last week, I want to talk to you about the Flat Earth documentary because it's very funny. Well, we'll get to that. I also want to talk to you about a program called Consumed. Oh, that's also very good. We're a cheerful person with a head injury. And let's see what else. I still haven't watched Halloween 2017 because I just haven't found time. I haven't started watching Umbrella Academy because I got sidetracked by Consumed. I also had to stay in on my day off for a parcel arriving, so I couldn't do my own shopping, so I gave my mother a list. But on the plus side, that did make me work up the courage to paint a very large 40k miniature. Mortarion, Primarch of the Death Guard, who I've had sitting assembled behind me for a long ass time, since the model came out, and I think that was like early 2017. Oh god, was it 2016? No, how long has 8th edition been out? Because it wasn't long after 8th edition. Either way, it's been sitting assembled, and I've been putting off doing it because I'm not a good painter, and I really, really like the Mortarion model, so I didn't want to try it because no matter how it turned out, I was never going to do him justice. Because he's a giant, nurgly man with a huge scythe, and he's just wonderful looking. Probably my favourite looking model. Second place would be like the Horospecs for Tyranids. Third place, my other shame, because I was thinking that Mortarion was the largest 40k model I have that isn't painted. One I've had longer than him that is still not done, and I might work up the courage to do that now, is the Tau Storm Surge. Maybe it's time. Get all the big projects done. Alright, well, it must have been early 2017 then. So yeah, if you haven't seen, I did post a picture of I don't want to call him Montgomery. Like Montgomery Burns. You want to see my efforts at Mortarion? He is definitely going to show up in a battle report because I want to use him on the field, even though he's a bullet sponge. Or no, he's not a bullet sponge, that implies he's super tanky. He's kind of tanky, but he's more a bullet magnet because he's so gigantic and dangerous. If you let him get into close combat, he can do some very, very nasty things. There is a distinct difference between bullet sponge and bullet magnet. Thank you, Rydog, for 30 months in a row with a Twitch Prime. No, with a tier 1 sub. I will take that because I'm living dangerously. 30 months in a row and almost half a year. Yep, you're right. Thanks for all the great content and entertainment. Thank you for the great support. Storm Surge, you have the Megazords. Storm Surges are not Megazords. They're just gigantic mechs. They look like the 3-person mech from EDF4. Is what they look like. To me. Kinda. With a little bit of the Japanese thing. No, I haven't talked about the Flat Earther documentary yet because I'm getting sidetracked by 40k, as is my curse. A little side thing, I was buying some paints I need because I can't hold off until Shadow Spear's out because I'm doing a lot of painting right now because I want to do a lot of battle reports. I got some paints from Games Workshop and they've included I don't know, I'll read what it's called in a second. If you order anything from them right now, presumably above a certain value, I don't know, you get Black Library Celebration 2019, which is like excerpts from like 4 or 5 Black Library books, which are just, it's their brand name for Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k and Horus Heresy fiction. And I've only read one that's in it so far, but it's very fun. It's Mortarion visiting Nurgle's garden. He finds a Greater Unclean One having a bath. It's the named one from the Chaos Demons Codex. Can't remember his name, like Kokalth or something. Either way, finds a Greater Unclean One having a bath in slime, and they get into an argument about whether or not Mortarion is using magic, because Mortarion can use magic, except he despises it, so he convinces himself he's using science. And they have a wonderfully silly argument about whether or not he's using science. No, it wasn't Rotigus, it was definitely Kokalth or something. It had a K. And then after they finish that argument, the Greater Unclean One grabs him and folds his body like an accordion and metamorphosizes, there we go, that's how you verbalize that, him into the model that you saw me paint. Although he does it without the wings at first, and then he notices he forgets them, so he grabs them again and then pulls the wings out of him. He then flies off and gets revenge against someone he wanted revenge against. And that's it for the excerpt that was in the book. I'll look at the thing and I'll find his name for you, because you're gonna annoy me if I don't. Also, it was called Grandfather's Gift. I might get the full book because I kind of like. Oh, it's Kugath, Khugath with a not a comma, apostrophe. There we go. The Balam Garden? No, Nurgle's Garden. It's a beautiful place. Mortarion describes it as he feels a billion diseases trying to infect him with every breath he takes while there. It's a lovely place. So even though I haven't ever read a 40k book, I might get the Mortarion one because it seems quite fun. That was close. Ooh, sides. Alright, so anyway, this Flat Earth documentary. What's it called? It's called Behind the Curve. We didn't get a single key. Might need to go do that boss trap room just to get a key. So I went into watching Behind the Curve, or again, whatever it was called, with 2 expectations. That I'd laugh a lot, and that most of the people pretending to believe it were shysters trying to exploit money from idiots. That was my expectation going in. Coming out the other end, having watched it, didn't find it as funny as I thought I would. It was mostly just sad. And I don't feel like it was a bunch of people just trying to extort money from idiots. I feel like they're just genuinely that stupid. Except the doctor. The doctor is very clearly exploiting idiots for money. But he was the only one. The rest are just idiots. Unashamed, arrogant idiots. The main guy that the documentary focuses on is definitely just enjoying his fame, regardless of how his fame is garnered. He goes around with a t-shirt that says who he is on it. He sounds like Bill Murray and looks like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd's love child. He is exceptionally stupid. And he has the hots for another Flat Earth lady who does some kind of podcast on YouTube. Who very clearly does not reciprocate beyond what she has to have access to his fame. The best part of the documentary is, well, one, that they talk to psychiatrists, because there's a few interesting angles. We're just going to have to ignore the item room. It's a great shame. And then they also have actual people doing tests on both sides. And there's a number of tests done throughout the documentary. All of them prove the Earth is curved, because obviously. And I think the best moment is when they're looking at these test results, because they're trying to show the curvature of the Earth by like shining a light over a great distance. If it goes to certain degrees, it means it's a straight line. If it goes to certain degrees where you have to raise it up higher, that means it's curved, because it is. And obviously the test proves that the Earth is curved, and the guy's like looking at it going, And at the same time they're cutting to actual scientists saying like, a real scientist goes in with no preconceived notions. They have a theory they want to either test to be true or fake, or false rather, not fake. They will accept the results and not go in with any bias. And then it shows the flat earthers doing their experiments. All their experiments show the Earth is not flat, and they all kind of just look, they have this look where they just go, Well, obviously the government has found a way to interfere with these signals to fake our results, so we're going to have to spend £20,000, oh dollars, sorry, because it's all Americans, $20,000 on this bit of equipment, this gyroscope thing, that's going to prove that the Earth is flat. It doesn't. Oh, well, now we have to find some way to like enhance its signal to get past the government. Well, they never really specifically say the government, except that one nutter who's all about guns and anti-vaxxing, who's very clearly mentally ill. The rest of them just always use the nebulous they. Like, it's, they're trying to fool you. It's like, who, and frequently they get asked, like, who are they? Why, or why? Why is asked more often than they. Like, who are they and why are they lying to you? And there's never a good answer, because there is no answer. It's just a bunch of sad, lonely people who like to feel special and like to think that the reason they're in the position they're in is because some nebulous entity is conspiring against them. What the hell is that? Crowheart drained me. Took 10 off of my range? No. Big Pharma. 50-50 chance they refers to a certain race of people. I certainly hope not. Because it's like a lot of them just saying it as well, like the actual scientists. It's like, it's harmless fun to poke fun, but these are also people whose science have failed, and we should feel bad about that and try and help them. And I kind of agree with that. Like, that's why I was going in expecting to laugh a lot, and then I was just kind of feeling bad for them. And then the other angle that the psychiatrists talk about, or psychologist, whichever he was, I forget the difference, is that the reason these people are so just full-heartedly into this is because they've found a family. They've found a bunch of like-minded people who believe what they believe. They feel safe, they feel justified, verified, they feel happy. So admitting that they're part of this stupidity would mean ostracizing them from their new friends, extended family. They have too much to lose by seeing sense, basically, which is what makes it sad. They're in too deep, and there's a couple of great moments where you think they're finally seeing sense, like when they do the experiments and they come back saying, yeah, the Earth is curved. And they're like, no, we're going to have to do some more research and work out how they're blocking our signal. Again, except that one quote-unquote doctor who is very clearly just a shyster. He's actually filmed at one point whispering to someone, yeah, I did some tests, and I can't publish the tests. People would be very angry about them. We're going to have to go find some more tests. Meaning that, you know, he did the research, but he's not willing to accept it because he wants to profit from these idiots. Thank you, Lemon Prince, for subbing with Twitch Prime. What is wonderful, though, is that so many of them are just very into conspiracy theories, just in general. To the point, well, actually, no, to go back to the point I was finishing, like, there's two moments when someone almost kind of gets it. When the test comes back confirming the Earth is round, you can see he's kind of like, and then he just kind of goes, nah, that can't be right. And then there's a moment when that lady who does the YouTube video podcast thing, she's talking about the conspiracies that flat earthers have made up about her, which are hilarious. Like, that's the only part that really made me laugh. And then she's like, oh, so these are the people I'm kind of with, and it makes you think, well, if they're wrong about all this, maybe they're wrong about something else. And then she thinks for a little bit and says something along the lines of, yeah, but I know I'm right. The conspiracy against her is that she and the guy who's obsessed with himself is CIA plants. And Flat Earthers believe this because her name is Patricia, and the last 3 letters of her name are CIA. And her surname is something like Steer, but like with a double E-R-E. And they think that's because that's a subtle way of giving away their conspiracy, apparently, that she's there to steer them away from finding the truth. And so when you hear stuff like that, you just can't take it seriously at all. The Fire Festival documentary was funny because there was a bunch of rich idiots having a bad time. This one, I wish I laughed, or could have laughed more, but it was, oh, it would help if I used this. It was just too sad seeing these people, like, these stupid people whose science have failed, believing this idiocy. They speak about science like it's a religion. Did they suspect Mr. Spyface mixed CIA man? No, everybody knows he's cool. So yeah, I wish I enjoyed watching that more. I still highly recommend watching it, if nothing more than just to understand their idiocy. But you will not find it funny. It is. I don't think it's funny at all. But hey, you might find more humor in it as well. I lamented the hope for humanity. It was interesting though, the anti-vax conspiracy people kind of also being flat earthers. That comes down to just wanting as much attention as possible, or just being stupid and believing everything you read on the internet. Because conspiracy theories make you feel special. That's why people believe in ghosts, because they think if they've seen a ghost they feel special. Conspiracies are like that as well. If you think a government entity is out to get you, it means you're not just some nobody who's living a pointless life. Which again, is sad rather than funny. Anyway, oh, you'll be happy to know, Kurt, you won't see any conspiracy theories on YouTube anymore because they... Oh, this is a very rare room. They lowered conspiracy related videos in search results because there was too much of that crap. So anyway, let's not talk about that documentary anymore. It's on Netflix if you want to watch it. I do recommend it, but just don't go in expecting to laugh. I watched a program called Consumed, and lest we not just make fun of Americans, I believe this is a Canadian program. Although the presenters seem to be American, the people taking part in it were definitely Canadian. Because I went in thinking it was just like an American program, but then I was like, hang on, these people are pronouncing words weird. They're Canadian. So, Consumed is basically Hoarders, if you know what Hoarders is. Where this lady who, like, she sounds perfectly normal and amiable when she's talking to the families. When she does her voiceover though, I hate it because she sounds like stereotypical Fox News presenter. And it drove me up the wall. But anyway, she goes into this house. The house is a tip because either people just hold on to garbage or they just have too much stuff. It's usually families with a lot of kids, so they don't have time to like clean up and they have too many toys. And her goal is she makes them live for a couple of weeks with like the bare essentials only. And then they have to go through all their stuff and get rid of 75% of it to scale down. And at the same time they do up the house for them a little bit. So they use their space better, that kind of stuff. They don't really need that. I will take that. Dimensional Tears! Was it your biography? Could be. So I do kind of recommend watching Consumed. It's just one series that's on UK Netflix anyway. At first, I thought it was like very, again, stereotypically American daytime TV, where they just want to do everything in their power to make someone in the family cry. And if you watch the first couple of episodes, it will definitely come across like that. But then that's to make the, like, oh, when they see the change, they become a happy family at the end, for the happy ending for the old folk watching daytime television. To be fair to the program, it isn't really that. It is not always a happy ending. I guess this, I won't go into details about which couples, but there's one couple who definitely had problems outside of just their house being messy, and then when they go back for their 3-month update, they're like, yeah, we're going through a messy divorce right now. I've got the kids and I'm not able to stay in the house that you did up for us because my husband's horrible, or my ex-husband is horrible, so we're living in a tiny house, sharing one bedroom together. And it cuts to the guy and he's like, yeah, we're going through a messy divorce. I got the house. It's like, what a piece of shit. Hello, grade. And then there was a weird one where they go back for their 3-month update. And they just have a wall of text go up where it says, yeah, we went back to check up on them. Apparently they moved somewhere very far away and sold the house. And that one reeked of, they wanted out of that house because of good reasons. It sounded like their father was abusive, although they didn't want to specifically say that. They kind of danced around the subject, but it sounded like he was. And they just wanted to get rid of the house and move, but the house was a tip because they didn't care about it because of what their father did to them. So they went on this program, got the program to do up the house, sold it for a massive profit, and then did a runner. That's how it came across to me. Which is smart. Oh right, this is developed. But not in the spirit of what they were trying to do, I feel. How did you suddenly die so quickly? He had like 3/4 of his HP, like, oh, I'm a very angry tiny baby now. You're sad now? Yeah, I didn't watch any, like, happy programs. Well, no, that's not true. Some of them are good. Like, some of them have happy endings. It makes you think, though, if you looked at all your worldly possessions inside your house, if you were asked to get rid of 75% of it, would you or could you? Because I would find it very hard. Zeppo says easy, but I'm not sure I believe him. A vast majority of my possessions, not including stuff I require for work, is 40k miniatures. You sure as hell I ain't getting rid of those. Oh, by the way, they don't throw them out, like, they give it to charity. So it's not like they just throw a bunch of good stuff to the trash heaps. They give it away to other families who have less. If I had to get rid of, like, 20 to 30%, I'd say that'd be comfortable, because this is a relatively big house for me and my dog, I would say. It is a 2-bed, so it's meant for a family. But I've filled up a lot of the space. I'm a little bit of a hoarder, I think. You're not getting rid of your sneakers? How many sneakers do you have, and are they your fetish? Feel free to answer in any order. Ooh, anti-grav I don't want, because I don't like it. Rules card. Rooms may yield more than expected. Experimentation is the key. Shut up, voice, in my head. All you own is a knife, a lantern, your shoes, and a robe. Well, that's for YouTube to guess who was talking there, because I didn't say your name. Could be anyone, really. In most cases in the program, a large majority of the 75% is just an overabundance of toys for, like, 3+ children. I think there's only one episode where that isn't the case, because all the kids involved are a little bit on the older side. What about turtle wax? Oh, I see. That was answering the person in chat has to guess I was talking about. So yeah, watching that series of Consumed took up... I had that on like... I think I started watching it in the evening after Sunday stream. Had that on in the morning on my day off. And that was when I was priming Morty. Hello, Lightvale. So then I noticed, as I was looking for something else on Netflix and thinking, oh yeah, now's the time I'm going to watch Umbrella Academy. They had added a second season of Doomsday Preppers, which I spoke about after I watched season 1. And I was like, give me that into my face. I want to watch crazy people from Texas say the world is going to end really soon in 2012. And that is exactly what I got. Much like season 1, a majority of the people taking part in season 2 of Doomsday Preppers are people from Texas. I'm pretty sure season 1 was 2011, so this series was 2012. So again, very funny people talking about, yes, the world's definitely ending in 5 years. A lot of people thinking that tsunami or polar shifts or volcanoes. Quite a few this time worrying about the economy, because that's when the economy crash happened, so that makes kind of sense. It's more of the same madness, so I don't really want to go into too much detail because I think I talked quite a while about season 1. Will say though, second to last episode of the season, or maybe the last episode of the season, they talk to this nutter of a guy, and I got Far Cry 5 vibes. He talks like the dude from Far Cry 5. He creates a little band of Doomsday Preppers, except they're overly religious, and they train to be soldiers, and they have militant control over their little area. They even have the same accent. I don't know where it's from, I can't remember, but they have the same accent. And it was like watching a real life version of Far Cry 5, and it was terrifying. They even had a similar sounding name, but I've forgotten what it was now. Because they didn't have anything about doomsday prepping in their name. It was like the free something or other society. It was just utter madness. It was a private militia. It was nothing to do with doomsday prepping. Oh, much like in season 1 as well, where there was a funny moment where somebody accidentally shoots their thumb off because they have to show off their guns to the cameras for National Geographic, which is apparently the people who film it. They have a moment where two people are in a little sniper nest firing exceptionally high caliber sniper rifles. One person's sniper rifle is of a much higher caliber, and despite them doing the safety thing of wearing like noise cancelling headphones, he lets off this huge round at something. Oh, they're setting up IEDs. That's what they're doing in their property, their bug out location as they call it. They're setting up IEDs and trying to make sure they go off by shooting them with sniper rifles. He fires off this huge round, and apparently it's so loud in such a confined space it blows the eardrum out of the other guy. So his eardrum's blown out, which makes him lose his sense of gravity, so he thinks the world is spinning. He almost passes out, falls on the floor, he throws up on himself. He starts crying like a baby and telling the other guy to get out of his encampment. It's very funny. Although they do eventually make up. Not as funny as the guy accidentally shooting his thumb off. But the same thing that was sad about season 1 is sad about this season. Like, them gleefully telling their kids that the world's gonna end and teaching them how to, like, kill people. It's like, ugh. Every time they have someone on as well who, like, I think there's an Orthodox Jew in one of them who refuses to indulge in any violence. He gets criticised by the team who assessed their survivability at the end, being like, yeah, if you don't learn to use a gun, you're gonna die. There's a lot of pro-gun rhetoric. Oh, I've just worked out what this is doing. I didn't really pay attention, to be fair. I'm sure chat has already realised as well what this trinket has been doing for me. It makes me lose red hearts before spirit hearts. Which is perfect because that means I get polar invincibility. My only worry is whether or not it kills me. Hopefully not. So yeah, there's a little bit too much of that. But that said, if they add a season 3, I would definitely watch it. Because as weird as Doomsday Prepping is, like a base level of preparation in case there's some horrible event, I have no issue with that whatsoever. That is, if anything, that's sensible. And I've even thought, like, at times, like, oh, if a disaster happened, what would I do? Which might be weird, I don't know. Like, I imagine, like, oh, if the world suddenly floods, what would I do? Where would I go? What could I do? If there was a zombie apocalypse, where could you go? What could you do? I'd never acted on any of these things because it's ridiculous. But I do sometimes, like, wonder how I would handle it. Or what I would do. I'd handle it very poorly regardless, but what would I do? Or where would I go? I think I'd just die. Well, that's the other thing. Like, one of the couples in season 2, they're both type 1 diabetic, and they're like, yeah, we're going to try and survive an apocalypse. I forget which apocalypse they were worried about. But we're both diabetic, so even though we're stockpiling insulin, we're both definitely going to die within 6 months of any kind of apocalypse happening, because there won't be any insulin left. It's like, well, what the hell are you doing then? You're not dying until something else dies. You. I keep forgetting they fire in every direction every single time. You do have an emergency kit, but that's because you live near an active volcano. Again, that is perfectly sane. So these are obviously, for the sake of entertainment, the extreme people. They go back to the same family in season 1 who, like, the father's prepper and just forced them all to leave their home. Because he wanted to be somewhere with a higher sea level, or above the sea level rather. And the kids are kind of indoctrinated by that point. There was a neat one though where somebody had a Wild West themed amusement park that they'd secretly turned into a prepper bunker, so people thought they were just like seeing a show where people were acting as cowboys and stuff, but really it was a heavily fortified bunker in case of emergencies. That was kind of neat. Because at least it served a purpose. He was still making money, but he could also live out his fantasies. Living above sea level is sensible? Yeah, I agree. Again, these are exceptionally extreme people. These are not rational people. Having just like a few bits and bobs in case of an emergency. It's like if you know that a severe weather thing is hitting your area and you take some steps to keep yourself safe. That's not stupid, that's very smart. Nice. I keep on getting deals with the devil, so I don't need to use the Joker card. Empty Vessel is sadly not going to do anything for me unless I get more deals. Tell that to the Netherlands. Look, you leave Netherlands alone. That's just Atlantis rather waiting to happen. Will that fill up my HP? Again, Empty Vessel shouldn't have done that, but... Oh, what the hell? There was an unlock for sleeping in a bed X number of times and I didn't get it ever because I never used them. Okay. I don't know. I wasn't expecting to unlock something by playing this. Pretty much just have the lost stuff left. See, that's how I felt my day while I was painting Mortarion. I am going to make a Death Guard list and throw it against the Tyranid list incumbent from last time. Because Because that will also mean I can get around to doing another 40k match rather than waiting until my Necrons are ready. Because they are still very far from ready, because I, as it turns out, don't like assembling Necrons at all. Like painting them because they're super quick, but assembling them is a pain in the arse. What I'm going to do first though is, tomorrow most likely I'm going to record another Batman Bat Rep. I've changed up the board and I really like how I made it look now. And I don't want to do just one battle report with it looking like that, so I'm going to do two probably. Not tomorrow, I'll do one tomorrow, but then maybe one the next day. And then I'll probably clear the table and do a 40k battle report. But I am really enjoying painting and recording battle reports at the moment. Oh, I finished the Scarecrow model from Terror in Gotham as well, and posted a picture of that rather on Twitter earlier. Anyone is interested? Yeah. I'm curious if anybody knows where I got the quote I put in the picture of Scarecrow on Twitter from. It was said by Scarecrow, but you might not guess the source. Also, I probably just made that sound like it's from Wizard of Oz or something. It's not. I did get my militia box. It was that coming from Spain that I had to wait in for on my day off, so I couldn't go out. I also have the militia assembled but not painted. And sadly, my Arkham Knight has a broken sniper. Where's your Tyrannid Swarm? I literally just said that it would be Death Guard versus the Tyrannid list. Because they're the current incumbent. Wait, was that a double tinted rock there? No, they all look like that. What are we on about Scarecrow? I'm talking about, like, in the tweet of me painting the Scarecrow miniature, I had him say the only thing to fear is me. He did say that, and I'm just curious if anyone knows the source, because even if you haven't read the Batman comics, you might still be able to get it. That's my last hint. Just stick two guns together? No, he is using the thing where he stuck his two guns together. That's the problem. And sadly, the Knight models are very fragile resin. So any thin bits are prone to breaking. Hell, even my Red Hood miniature, the silencer, one of his guns had broken off, although I was able to get that back on and look largely normal. But like my Bane militiaman who only has, the Tomahawk guy who only has one hand, he's meant to have two hands. I had to shear it off at the elbow because it was like the T-1000's knife sword thing. It was not the animated show. Nope. It was DC Universe Online. If you do Batman's quests, the first big villain you fight is Scarecrow. And after you beat him, you get a cutscene where he's in Arkham, and that's how it ends. It has him saying the only thing to fear, and then a jump scare of him saying, "It's me!" I'll probably find the cutscene on YouTube if you don't believe me. If I remember rightly, Batgirl joined you for that fight. But that was before I knew anything much about Batman at all when I was playing that as well. Although, like I mentioned last week, I do kind of want to go back to DC Universe Online and see how much it changed in 5 years or so. Okay, we didn't get to deal with the devil on this floor. I'll try it. Good enough. I imagine they've added a crap ton more stuff in this Mewplate as well. Apparently it's like, it's free to play up to level 30 and then after that you have to buy episode packs or something. That doesn't do anything. Well, that doesn't do anything. Well, that might do something. And that did do something. You found the source? Hey, there you go. What is this? Meconium? Why am I suddenly getting trinkets I've never seen before? I haven't even seen that in the tabletop game or this other one I'm using. Our damage is really not cutting it anymore. It's the word for baby's first poop. Oh. Yeah, you probably did tell me that before. So that sounds like something you should bronze and keep forever, right? Oops. You're probably worth the extra damage. That was close. Ew. Yeah, I don't need to know more. I won't even repeat that for YouTube to spare them the details. You're gross, that's gross. Oh, that's reminding me of the other thing that arrived today. The Nurgle wood carving that I got off the Ukrainian gentleman who makes them in the Ukraine. And it's badass looking. And it's definitely going on the table. And it's also very big, it's bigger than Mortarion. It's gonna be a nice, like, little Nurgly centerpiece. I feel like if there was more 40k themed games, I could get away with having a Nurgling emote. I mean, like, 40k games are good, also. Whoops, that's gonna hit me. I didn't even try and move. There we go. That was a little bit of a bad time to get triple shot, but we just lost it. My reflection, get out of here. Oh, double shot, that'll do. What? No way should that have hit me, but whatever. Oh. Not bad. That's fine. That's irrelevant, really. I think that's bad. Well, no, it's another kind of meh. Look how happy little Gertie is when it fires off. I'm charging up little Gertie. It's gonna kill you. It's in the process of killing you. Mr. Mega? Yep. Okay. I actually got through all my stories and it lasted the majority of the run. I think I got through all my stories. Which is good. Go, little Gertie, go. Science magic? Now you're sounding like Mortarion. so hates psychers, and yet is a very powerful psycher. That's why his son feels like he doesn't love him, because he's also a powerful psyker. Sorry, I didn't mean to get deep into 40k nerd lore. Much rather nerd lore about Batman. Can I stay over here and you can't hit me, or... yeah, okay. Oh no. Well, if we lose now, at least I can blame my reflection. So much for having good range. Wait, maybe I can manipulate dimensional tiers? Kinda. A little bit hard to land shots. That kind of worked. For some reason the range seems even longer if I do it that way. Greed's gotta go. There we go. I forgot I had glitter bombs, but I can't be asked using them just to try for hearts. If we die, we die. You I will, however... oh wait, this is the exact same room. Mine. That was a lucky quick kill and rag, man. But on a 1 or a 6 he comes back. Oh, well, this is how we die. He was charmed so he didn't land on me. Oh, they're both dead though. These are clubs. You dare pun on this special day? I don't know what's special about it. Oh. Let me live. Let me live again. Also, I picked up a double heart, but it didn't give me a spirit heart. What's up with that? Gertie, Rex, Shepherd. Nothing. I found the room with all the poop in it. Oh no, there was a heart somewhere, but I lost it. Oh right, of course. Whatchamacallit would have picked it up. Also, there is a dingle somewhere, but I have no idea where. Oh, it died. Okay. My reflection, please. I just want my tears to reach my enemies. A penny? Oh. Whoa! My own tears, my reflection almost sent that bomb back at me. Nope, no savior here. Still nothing. Second secret room, maybe? Nope. You're still talking about Doomsday Prep? Hello, Argonautical. You're crying over an essay. You sound like Chills. Well, at least you're doing them. Oh, why did I use this when Blue Baby's right there? I also feel like that hit me, but I got a free hit. I think I still would have got it. Why did I use it? Oh well. It's either win or die in the final room at least. It's a little bit hard to see his tears when mine are so numerous. We fell at the final curtain, but that's okay. Anyway, for those watching Afterbirth on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed, and ta-ta for now.